Well, good morning, YouTube, YTPC. Happy Thanksgiving Day to all my American friends there. Hope you're enjoying it. It's kind of a nice early step into the festive season, isn't it? Great to be with family and to have those beautiful turkeys that you have there. I'm pleased to say you can get turkeys like that in Switzerland now, nice fresh ones and everything. And I always have one for Christmas. My wife always has one day where we do a traditional, let's say, British Christmas dinner. Lovely. Thank you for chiming in there, my friend. I think he's getting in the spirit too. Well, I thought I'd sneak in the start of Tobaccos of the Christmas Future. And I made a little hint that is about taking a Christmas blend that you think is very good and thumbs up. But how do I get 2 thumbs up? Well, before I come to that, you may notice that I'm not only wearing my little Christmas cap here, but this. Pretty good, huh? I'll leave a link. It's in eBay, and would you believe this pulley costs like £5. Ridiculous. I don't know how many. Oh, here he goes. I spoke too soon. Just kidding, you know. It's 11:30. The women are coming off of the fields. Well, not in November and not since 200 years, but anyway. Well, with a bit of shipping it was like maybe $20 or something like that, but it's only acrylic, of course. It's in the tradition of outrageous pullovers, which we sort of cultured over the last 30 years in Britain. And I was looking for one with a pipe smoker, and here he is. Well, yesterday evening I went through all of my pipes, and I have a little clip on the pipe bag where I noted the identity of the pipe inside, so it makes it much easier to find them again. I'll tell you about my system in another video. But the good thing is I found 2 Christmas pipes, which was great. One was a lovely Stanwell one from 2013, and the other one was this beautiful Chacon pipe, which has a lovely malachite green stem, a little Christmas tree there on it, beautiful grain. Made in France, of course, St. Claude, and let's not forget they invented briar, more or less, didn't they? Beautiful pipe with a nice spigot. Well, what I thought I would do for Tobaccos of Christmas Future is look at some of the tobaccos I've reviewed where they got like maybe 1 thumbs up or 1.5, and think, how could I maybe improve them? And one way to think about it is, in which dimension were they lacking? What was missing there for you personally? And it's a very personal decision. You also might say, I think they were very good as they were, I don't want to tinker with them. That's fine. But my experience is you can tweak them a little bit and get a little bit higher in your enjoyment of them. So in video number 1 of Tobaccos of Christmas Future, I've taken the Peter Heinrich one, which you've heard about and know I gave it 1 thumbs up. It wasn't quite as good as 2019 Peter Heinrich, which of course I've jarred up now because it was in one of those not very well sealed sealable tins. And for me, the cinnamon was missing a bit. It had really no indication of cinnamon. Just to remind you what it had cherry almond in it, and the almond I got fine. It had some baked apple in the topping. That was a little weaker, only occasionally possible to find, but cherry almond was in there, and I thought a bit of cinnamon would be nice with that. But of course, again, this is something for you to reflect. What would you like to have in it? Would you like more sweetness? Would you like a bit of chocolate, vanilla? Is it cinnamon? Do you need a bit of spice in there? All kinds of things. But once you've decided, this is how I go about it, to investigate if that's really working. I use stacking. Now, some of you may not know what stacking is. It's basically you put a layer of one tobacco and then you put a layer of another, and you do 2 or 3 alternate layers. So it's kind of like you've blended it in the pipe. And the advantage of stacking is you get one taste. So I started off with Peter Heinrich at the top to remind me this is the baseline. And slowly you get more and more leaching, and through the layers of the other tobacco, what the effect of that other tobacco is. And what I chose, this may surprise you, is some Edward G. Robinson, because the Artful Codger about a year ago or so said for him one of the Christmas tobaccos could be this because of the cinnamon. And if the Artful Codger says something, you prick your ears up and listen carefully, because there's wisdom in it. And last year I tried that with the Peter Heinrich 2019, which was already 2 thumbs up, and I'm sure I got another half thumb out of it by doing that. So this is the one I've chosen to try with Peter Heinrich, and I'm stacking. And I'll do a couple of pipes like this, and if I think, yeah, it works, definitely, it's better, I'm enjoying it more, it's got that half thumbs more, then I will add some of this to this. Now normally I put in about 20 to 30%, depending on the nature and strength of the one I'm adding. Not really more usually than 30%, because I don't want to adulterate and overwhelm the original merits of the tobacco that I'm using. So that's my way. You might say I need more of it and I'll do 1-to-1 or something like that. There's just about room in this jar for that much, and but I'll do another 1 or 2 of these stacking experiments. So how's it going, you're all saying? Well, I'm about a third the way, so I've gone through a Peter Heinrich layer, and I'm sort of almost through, halfway through an Edward G. Robinson layer, and you actually find that layer quite quickly, and it's absolutely working for me. And the other advantage of Edward G is it's a bit sweeter, just a little bit, and I thought the Peter Heinrich was, I've noted here, moderate sweetness, so I would tweak it up a little bit. And there's also a bit of background chocolate and raisin fruit in there, which it's always good to choose one that is maybe not really powerful, because it'll quite soon overwhelm the original tobacco. So it's like and like in the sense of ones which are not heavy aromatics, they're basically mild to medium aromatics, and then I think you've got much more chance to find the right balance. And if you're stacking, you think, well, that's no real improvement or whatever, then of course you can think, well, maybe I'll take the direction of fruit. So for golden days of yore, for example, I'm thinking in fruit dimensions there. It won't tip you off what I'm going to use to add to it, but that might bring it a little bit more forward. And for Danpipe, for example, that tobacco, which got 1 thumbs up, maybe a bit more chocolate in there would be nice. And the good thing is, you've all got a cellar of some kind, you know, you can look and rummage around to see what kind of tobaccos you've got. I would choose a good one that you think's a good, really, you liked it anyway, on its own right. And it could be one of your more expensive or valuable to you types of blends, because let's face it, it's Christmas, so you may as well put the good stuff in there, you know. You're only going to add like 30% or something like that, so it's, you know, not going to break you. So that is the method in my madness, if you like. Using my dual Jack the Piper tamper. Hope business is going well, my old mate Giuliano. So now I'm definitely getting Edward G flavours mingling, because there's a layer of 2 layers of Peter Heinrich below this, so it's drawing flavours through other layers and getting some of that. You're all wondering what this is. This, my dear friends, is Verpoorten, which is a Dutch egg liqueur, more or less eggnog, you know, to all intents and purposes, which you can put on a dessert or you can make a cocktail out of it. For me, it's a nice ready-made eggnog. I agree to the experts might say, oh, you know, but you have to make it yourself with fresh eggs and everything. It does have eggs in it, but it's really very nice. And this year, for some reason, the prices are much better with this particular one, so I got a couple of bottles of that. Cheers. Love it. Working just great. I might actually up the amount, maybe to, let's say, 40%, just because this is actually also not, it's medium to mild aromatic, so not that strong, and you have to tinker with that and play around with it a bit, but after 3 or 4 stacking pipes you get the feeling. Just what was missing, that cinnamon at a detectable level and a bit more sweetness, and now I'm very happy. So of course you could call it your own personal Christmas blend. You know, this could be Redcoat's Return Christmas Blend #1. But you might want to try 1 or 2 or 3 different possibilities in stacking, and then go for the one that you think this blows my mind, you know. By the way, the other one that I bought this year, I went through maybe 4 or 5 different sorts last year. This was one of the best ones. The actual real best one, I thought, was this Polybomb. This is Italian egg liqueur, and this was absolutely brilliant. And they've got a bit of grappa in there, of course, haven't they? But this one is my favourite, and it's also not expensive at all. It's going about 20 francs a bottle, something like that. A large bottle like this, you know, which is what, a litre, I think. No, 700 millilitres. So 17%. This is 20% alcohol. There's a little bit of variation there between one and the other. Usually in the stacking thing, the enjoyment goes up as you basically get more and more of the mix. So from a half a bowl down is the point where you can really judge it, you know. Well, that's it for this first one. Might be a few days or a week until I get to number 2 and 3. Gives me time to experiment a little bit in between. But I thought I'd just do this first one to show you how the idea works in practice. And I'm pretty sure I will blend out all of that with about maybe 35% of this one, something like that, or 40%. Need to do a few more bowl experiments to see. Well, you all have a great day. I'm sure everybody in America is having a great day. Enjoy it. And take care of yourselves. Keep safe. And I'll talk to you in about a week or so. Cheers everyone. Bye bye.